So, Dr. Adnani, I have a question for you. I'm kind of curious your opinion on the Islamic dilemma. What do you think of it?
So I'm sure you know, right? I debated this with Sam Shamoon like last year.
Uh huh. Well, it was
So
like,
like
yeah, go
I've
ahead.
I've given out like I've given my take on that in that debate. In my view, it's basically um, and you guys won't agree, but that's fine. So, what in my view, the Injil mentioned in the Quran is an oral message, oral revelation that was given to Jesus and which he enunciated. It was not a book, right?
It was
Kitab
not a
actually
book.
doesn't really. No, it's not a book. The Injil is
So, when
not a
it says
book.
it's written and it's between their hands, it's not a physical book.
Well, between their hands, firstly, it doesn't actually say between their hands. Like to be fair, um, there's one passage which mentions just Muhammad being written, right? It doesn't actually say the Injil is written. It says Muhammad was written, and of course, the word here is maktub. Maktub in throughout the Quran also often means decreed. It doesn't necessarily entail like a physical writing. Now
So,
that
Baina
all that
Yadehi
being
doesn't mean like in their presence right in front of them.
no, no. So if you look at it, and this is in the, I mentioned this on my slide, right? So the expression "beina yadehi" in Arabic is an
Mm.
idiomatic expression. Now, literally, beina yadehi, literally means in between it two hands.
Right.
There's its
It's
two
an idiom.
hands.
Yeah. Mm.
It's an idiom. Now, the it there is actually the Quran. Like if you took it literally, it would be saying um, he sent down the Quran or he sent down the Kitab and he sent down the Torah and the Injil Baina Yadehi between the Quran's two hands. Now, the reason why I say this is an idiomatic expression is that the literal meaning often it doesn't make sense. I.e., the Quran doesn't have two hands for anything to be between. The Quran's not even a physical book at that time, so that's why in almost every case, Baina Yadehi, the idiomatic meaning is before, temporal before, and it's used also throughout the Quran to talk about something coming temporally before something. So I've shown this in my debate slides. Baina Yadehi just means he sent down the Torah and the Gospel before it,
So it wasn't
the it
physically in
being the
front.
Quran. Well, we know it wasn't, right? I mean, we know that,
Uh,
for example, the
we do.
Bible, the yeah, the Bible didn't get into Arabia like as an Arabic book until like after the Prophet, like 100 years later. Like the Bible was not in Arabia. What was in Arabia was sort of Christian and Jewish like sermonizing, in which parts portions of the Bible might be quoted. Like that's all that was. But this meaning
So
that
go
Bena
ahead.
Yadehi wouldn't make sense. Like, so there's no physical Quran. And then we know for a fact there's no like New Testament scroll sitting in front of a physical Quran as the Quran is being revealed. So if you deny the idiomatic meaning, you get this thing that actually makes no sense. That's why you have to go with the
So
idiomatic meaning, which is before.
I just want to understand this. You're saying it wasn't a physically written book, that the Jews and the Christians actually memorized everything. It was all oral. They memorized
In
all the
Arabia, so it's
books.
in
Yeah, in
Arabia.
Arabia,
So
the
here's what
Jews and
I'm.
Christians
Yeah,
are. Well, one second.
they probably had. So we know already that Jewish and Christian communities at the time of the prophet, this is outside of Arabia, they have a Bible. Like we know that.
No, no, in
However,
Arabia, I'm just. What I'm
but you
asking
know,
is that I,
The Bible was not like a widely available text the way it is
I
today,
know, I know,
right?
Khalil. Hear my.
Yeah,
Let me
sure.
finish my
Okay,
statement.
okay,
Okay, my
okay.
statement is that are you saying that the Jews and the Christians in Arabia are walking around memorized all of the Torah and all of the Bible that they had, or at least the Gospels, the Psalms, and the Torah? They've all got it
Okay.
memorized at there. As nothing is
No,
written
I'm
down,
not saying that.
and
No, I'm not.
then okay,
No,
go
no,
ahead.
no. I'm not saying that your average Jew or Christian has memorized the Bible and is walking around. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
is that in general, first at a general level, this is Arabia, outside Arabia, the
Right.
Bible is not an available book like it is today because this is like pre-Reformation. So you actually don't have. You don't have an accessible Bible. You do have a Bible and you do have
But
a Christian canon, but it's primarily only accessible to
what?
clergy.
Why
Okay,
would you say
that's
that
for
though?
starters, because
I mean,
that's
isn't
just
the
the social.
Bible spread all over their churches, all over?
No,
Uh,
no, it's not
uh,
accessible to commoners, though, right? It's only accessible to clergy at this time.
I think it was like that in Europe too. For a long
right,
time, the layman
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
right.
have access to it.
that's what I'm saying. So look, if you want a historical perspective on just this topic, okay, forget the
Yeah.
Islamic dilemma for a second. Just this topic of like what is the Bible at this time? How is it used? Who has access to it? Sidney Griffith's book called like the Bible in Arabic is a great book. And Sidney Griffith is a Christian scholar. He's not a Muslim. He's a
In
Catholic. I think he's a
Arabic. So
Catholic.
you're talking about a translation. They had to translate it into Arabic. But I'm
Yeah,
saying not
they no, no,
Arabic,
but
but
even without it, even before the translation Arabic, remember, Bible is not translated into Arabic until after Islam comes, right? Like it's translated like 100 years after. So before the Bible's not in Arabic, right? And as a book, it's not that accessible. So what I'm saying then is, based on the research that's been done, what you have in Arabia is portions of the Bible are regularly recited in liturgy
Could you
and
say it's like a
quoted.
fragmented Bible? It's like a fragmented
one
Bible.
second. Let
Yeah,
me
yeah, you could say that
let
that
me. Can I
biblical
get big screen for a
fragments are
second?
regular. Yeah,
Yeah. If
I
I can
can't
get,
see
this is the
that. So
map. This is
Wait,
the golden
wait,
age of the church.
let him finish what he was saying though, because I was trying to listen to that what he was saying,
Right, right. I'm just
and then
showing you the map, and I want to show you that this is the golden age of the church fathers, fourth to fifth century. Already, as you can see, all the plus signs are all important churches spread all over. Okay,
I
before even
don't
Islam.
dispute any of
And
that,
you're
but we're
saying
not
while
talking
this is
about
existing
that.
there, there's the Bible is only accessible to few people. Is that what you're saying?
It is, yes, yes. The Bible is accessible to churchmen
Okay.
primarily. The Bible is not accessible to like the way it is accessible to all of us today,
Okay, no problem. So now from the
right?
Islamic
That's what
dilemma
I'm saying.
perspective, from the Islamic
Yeah,
dilemma perspective, the Bible that is accessible to whoever you want to name it is a written book.
of course it is. Nobody's
Okay.
not. I'm
Okay.
not saying it's not a written book.
Okay. Well, I got
It's a
when you
canon.
said
We still have a canonized Bible.
right.
It's just not an accessible text like it is today.
Okay.
That's like an important
Now,
social fact. So the
well,
exposure
because
of the Arabs to the Bible would be in the form of fragments that are recited often in liturgy and quoted in sermons. Like that's their exposure to the Bible.
right,
There isn't
but when
like
you have
some big
said
Bible book sitting around there.
right, but I got confused because I've heard you saying the kitab doesn't mean a book. So you're
Yeah,
claiming
that's
that the
a different
kitab
point.
is not
Kitab is not a
written.
book.
So every time it says it's not. But the word kitab has been established as a
Yeah.
book, even has been called a book. They refer to it a book even
Mhm.
prior to Islam. You
No,
have
it's not. This
poetries
is
and
the
Arabic. Okay. All right. Okay.
actually in Arabic poetry, the word kitab is mostly used to mean a decree.
Written decrees or
No,
documents.
not written decree, authoritative decree,
Okay. So you got the Sabian and Arabic
authoritative
inscriptions.
decree.
You've got the Sabian and Arabic inscriptions pre-Islam, where
Yeah,
kitab means a written decree or a letter, not just some abstract revelation.
this is no, but the reason why something is called a kitab is because it has authoritativeness. It doesn't a kitab doesn't have to be actually written down to be a kitab. That's the meaning
Okay,
that you find throughout the Quran.
right,
I wrote my dissertation on this very topic. Like it's open access. It's a Harvard dissertation. I think I spent like 100 pages going through what is the
right,
meaning of kitab, pre-Islamic poetry. Also the Quran itself. How does the Quran use the term kitab and the whole verb kataba? How does
right.
kataba work in the Quran? It's not like the notion of a written book. I'm not saying that it excludes it being a physical writing, but it
Okay,
doesn't necessitate it being a physical writing.
right.
And in most of the
so
Quranic
then
uses of the verb, it's not a physical writing. Something is
Okay,
called kitab because it's
yep.
binding on someone.
Okay. So if I understand
I'll
you,
give you an
so far you've
example. The
agreed.
verse of let me give you a quick example of this. Um, you know the verse about fasting, like Surah 2, verse 183. It says
Hmm.
like, "O ye who believe, fasting is." Now they all translate this as prescribed. Like if you look the English, it'll say prescribed, but the actual Arabic is fasting is written on you.
Hmm.
oh, so I
Fasting
have a
is written on
question.
you. So now, do
Yeah.
you think like Prophet Muhammad wrote
No,
the
no,
word fasting on
No,
everybody's
Jay,
no, no.
Jay,
I
I
don't
skin.
have
believe
No,
that.
right?
However,
Jay,
Yeah.
Jay, real quick, Jay, real quick. It's not going to take him off track. I promise, bro. I would not do that to you. Just hold on, real quick. So
no
then, I
problem. Go
just have
ahead.
a question. So then, when it comes down to some certain Muslims or people in general saying, "Well, why is it that your texts don't come till the year 125 or 200 or 300 AD?" Then I've always felt it is obviously because there is a huge oral tradition and people start writing things down, of course, as things get a little bit more modern. And then not only that, but a lot of our earliest manuscripts would have been burned and destroyed because of haters. So I think with what you're saying, it's just a natural progression. It's not that the gospels are untrue, that they're not written immediately down, but it is because this gospel is highly oral and transmitted orally on these trade routes and as people go around preaching the gospel. Isn't that a fair explanation?
Well, the part I would agree
Mm,
with is ancient people. One point. Yeah. So ancient people, like pre-modern people, this is especially before Islam, and you'll find church fathers also saying this. Um, People did not prioritize, like they didn't see that for something to be revelation, it must be written down physically. Like that's not how people understood revelation, and that's one of the reasons why there was no effort. When Jesus was going around teaching, was there any scribe with him? Like copying. Like there was no court recorder. Why did they not bother to write down everything he said verbatim? It's because the oral word until very recently, oral speech has always been seen as more powerful and more original than written speech.
right.
Like that's just a
But
fact of
okay.
human life.
All right.
That's why you don't have this effort in the first 100 years to like do a verbatim transcript of what Jesus said.
Okay.
And I would also
So
add
we
that the Christian
agree.
population was much smaller in Arabia than the Jewish
Okay. All
population.
right. Thank you.
Dr. Adnani.
Okay. Anyways,
That's a
my
good
point
point,
here
Dr.
is
Khalil
coming back
Mubarak. That's
coming
a good
back to
point.
the Islamic dilemma here is we agree that there was a book. We agree. Now you may not agree that Bina Yadihi means in the presence of it. I have Ibn Abbas. These guys you don't take. Ibn Taymiyyah, some of the others are all saying. And then of course I looked into the Arabic lexicon. It agrees that it's in the presence of it. There's even a hadith where it talks about
No, but
Bina
dude,
Yadehi.
Baina
Let me,
Yaday, he doesn't mean
Khalil, let me
that.
finish, please, Khalil, please,
No,
please,
but
let me
you're
finish.
making it seem no, but
Okay,
I have
let
an
me
issue with
finish
what
and
you're
then you
saying
can
though.
add your
You're
stuff, Khalil.
making it seem
Khalil,
okay,
you
fine.
can let me finish and then you can add it. Okay, I don't, when you talk, everybody keeps quiet. But you gotta let other people talk. Now, you may disagree with it, add it after the fact, okay? So you even got a hadith where it sits down and says, and I've got it in front of me where it says Baina Adina, in front of us, Min Amina, which is hadith, which is Sahih Muslim 49 BB. It says we used to say a prayer and the animals moved in front of us. And it's using Baina Adina in it, okay? And when we mention that doesn't mean that the animals were not existing in front of them. It was just something there. So I'll just dispute you on that. But coming back to the Islamic dilemma, what part of the Islamic dilemma do you not agree that that he confirmed the previous scriptures and now you have contradictions, or he did not confirm the previous scriptures in your
Sure. So,
Quran?
so firstly, Baina Yaday he in its Quranic usage does not mean in the presence of. You're referring to a different text, hadith, and then you're referring to a different expression. Baina Yaday na is different. Like the object, the indirect object of the
Bena
preposition.
Adina is different than Bena Yadehi. In front of
Yeah,
him versus
yes,
in front of us is different.
yes, it's different. It makes a huge difference actually
What?
because here
You
I'll
mean
tell you
as soon as it
why.
becomes a multitude of people, it suddenly makes a difference?
Yeah, it does. It's because Baina Yadehi in the Arabic language, and you can check the lexicons. Baina Yadehi is a known idiomatic expression for the meaning before it. That's why it's a he before it. Whereas Baina Yadena, for example, is not part of that idiom.
Okay. So before it,
That's
because it
that's
says the word
why.
it, you're presupposing it is a Quran.
Well, I'm not presupposing. in all the instances where this
Was
phrase
the Quran
appears in
present
the,
during Moses' time? So when it
what
says
does that
that the
have to
No,
do
Torah,
with
it's not.
it?
well, but it
Well,
says it's
you're not tracking what he's
in the
saying.
presence.
Well,
Brother, don't worry about me tracking.
He
Okay,
never refers to
so
Moses, actually. So I don't
no,
know what you're
those
talking
verses
about.
are in context about when it says in the
Yeah,
presence
but they
of,
all,
but
no,
they're
but when
talking
it
about
says
during
Bena
that time.
Yadehi, who's the he? No, yes, but but in the presence of who during that time? It doesn't say
The
Moses. It says,
presence of the
it
Jews
mentions
and
the
Christians during
Quran.
that period.
No, but that would be Bena Yadehim. You
Okay,
have to find Bena Yadehim. You can't
okay,
just say Bena Yadehi and say it means them. The he and Bena Yadehi means it. This is what I'm
okay.
saying.
All right.
You
So
know.
now
Anyway,
I'm going to show you. Right, I'm going to show
but
you
just to
this.
skip, no, bro. I'm not interested. I've already analyzed all the verses. I've made my argument, and there's nothing you can tell me now that's going to change my mind. So it's just a waste of time to argue
Yeah,
with me on
that's
this.
fair enough. That's why we
Okay,
wanted to
I've
challenge you
done
on
all
it,
the
but it's fine.
analysis.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Oh,
I've done it.
Jordan.
Now, just to answer what
yeah.
you asked, just to
Between
answer,
his
um,
hands, these are 18 times, 19 times we've done it. So I understand
okay, but
you don't
those
want
are
to
but
indulge
do you
us on
see?
that.
No,
With
I
you,
don't, because
confirming
I've
what is
already,
with you. Okay,
again,
confirming
literal
what is between
translation is
his
not the
hands.
same. It
Okay.
doesn't matter. But yeah, but his is the Quran. So is the Quran a he?
Wait a
Because
minute.
in
The
all those
Quran. Wait a
cases,
minute.
is
His
the
is the
Quran a
Quran.
he?
Oh wait,
Oh,
his
is
hands
the
in the.
Quran a person? Yes,
Excuse
yeah.
me.
Look
Who
up
said
all
his is
those.
the Quran?
Yes,
Who said his is the
it's
Quran? these
all,
verses. Some of
my
them were
friend.
written during Moses'
No,
time. Khalil, by talking
you're
over me, you're not
taking.
going to win it. Okay.
No, you're
Some of
talking
these
over
verses.
me because it was my turn to
How
speak, and you
how
actually
is
just
this
brought this
written?
up.
How is this Quran going to be present when these verses are talking about a period
Perfect.
during
Okay,
Moses' time,
okay,
pre-Islam?
go to three. No, they're not. You're
All right.
completely wrong. 290, 390, 297 is not about Moses. It's about the Quran's revelation. 3:3 is also about the Quran's revelation. But what you've done is you're on some random website that's just
Ra-
taking a word for word
ra-
translation, not
random
taking into
website.
account the actual.
Bro,
Yeah,
what do you
random
mean random
website.
website? This is not random.
Yeah,
Collecting all of these is not random. Are these verses in
but
your
this is
Quran or not?
but you already interpreted it wrong. You're telling me that
Okay,
297
you
and
want to
three
walk
three
through
are
them?
about the time
Do
of
you want to walk to
Moses.
them with me? You want to walk through them
No,
with
because
me,
I've
those
already
verses?
gone through this, and this is a
All
waste
right,
of my time. If you
all
really
right.
want to embarrass yourself, you can go to 3:3 and tell me it's about Moses. Go.
Okay, so
Try it.
do you want to walk through? I didn't say that 3-3 was.
Yeah,
I said
yeah, no,
many
no,
of
no, yeah,
them.
yes, you did. No, no,
I said many of them,
no,
or
no.
even
We
some
have
of them are
witnesses
not
here.
from that period. It was before the Quran's period.
You 3:3
Pre-Quran
is
period.
not about
Okay. Bro,
Moses'
why you keep
time
on going on 3-3, dude? How many verses
because
are in here? Can
you
you see
said
all
all
these?
of in. I said, who's the his? Is it the Quran? You said no, it's Moses. So
I
I said,
said
look in
some of them
3:3. If
in here in his is pre-Quran.
which ones?
Okay, let's walk through this.
No, see, you don't know. You're just like saying stuff.
Well, I'm
Look,
gonna go and
I,
what do you mean say
but
stuff?
Jay, look. I've already gone through this stuff. And if I wanted to debate you or anybody on what Bena Yadehi means, I would do it with PowerPoint slides, not on TikTok where you can't see anything. Now, to answer the question that was asked by you and by the other person, what's my view of the Islamic dilemma? So, in my view, the Islamic dilemma is solved in basically two ways. Okay, number one, the gospel that is mentioned throughout the Quran is not the same thing as the New Testament, and it's not the same thing as the fourfold gospel. The gospel
Really?
in the Quran view refers to the teachings of Jesus. That's all it means. And you can't
Right.
use the Quran. You can't get from Quranic mention of the word
But what
gospel
makes you
to
think it's
okay
only the
the
teaching
new,
of Jesus?
because that's how it's
Because
defined in the Quran.
your Quran uses biographical material both from the gospel and from the Torah. So
That's
and it
irrelevant.
uses what
That's irrelevant. That's a red
what
herring. That's a
what do you mean red
complete because
herring?
the term gospel in the Quran, and I have to go soon.
Right.
The term gospel in the Quran doesn't
Yeah.
refer to Jesus' biography. It refers to a revelation that God gave to Jesus,
Who
which then
says
Jesus
that?
taught. The Quran says that.
Harold,
Then why does your Allah
But
quote
the Quran says
stories,
that. But
uses
then you can't
stories
use
from the
the
four
Quran.
gospels?
But that's
Khalil,
a different
why does then in
issue. But
that
no,
bro, you
it's a
listen,
different
why does
issue.
not our definition?
If
You're
you're
saying that
using no, because the Quran doesn't
yeah,
define
listen,
Jesus'
you're
birth as
filibustering me
part of the
right now. You
gospel.
think it's going to work out there.
I'm
You're just
not.
making
I'm not.
nonsensical
You're changing,
claims out there.
my
Because
friend.
you're
My
saying
friend. Do you use
Khalil,
the
is it
Quran? Do you use the
Khalil?
Quranic mentions of the word gospel to do the Islamic dilemma? You do, but now you're ignoring
Yeah,
it.
okay,
So you
yes.
can't play
And
both
guess what? And
sides.
guess what? In your Quran,
You can't play
Allah
both
is sitting
sides.
down and using quotes from the Gospels when he's talking about the
Okay,
Gospel. From Luke, from everywhere else.
actually,
He's
actually,
using biographical
actually, there's
material. So
no.
why is he using
Okay,
stories that are only found in the Gospels to he's putting it in the Quran when he's referring to he only talks about the Torah, the Injil, and the Psalms. He doesn't talk about the
but
full Bible, right?
none of
So why
that,
is he using
none of
stories
that.
only in the Gospels in the Quran then? If those Gospels were
Okay,
not a part of it.
so he also, but the Quran also uses stories that are not found in the Gospels, like the infancy narrative.
Brilliant. Yes, yes. Okay. But
Yeah,
that's not my
okay. So
contention.
that doesn't.
My
Okay, no, but it's relevant because you're now trying to argue that because the Quran evokes a story found in the Bible, therefore the Quran is confirming the whole Bible.
No, no,
That
no.
just
You're
logically
saying that
doesn't
it is
follow.
not the Gospels. And I'm saying there are instances of
Yeah,
stories
but
that are
you're
only
missing.
found in the
You're
Gospels
totally.
that Allah is using in there, and he's quoting those almost verbatim.
Okay, great,
He's doing it in
great,
there.
but
So if
that
he's
doesn't.
doing that,
Okay, but that doesn't
that
help
means the
the Islamic
Gospels were a
dilemma.
part of the Gospels. The four Gospels were a part of it, of our Gospels.
No,
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were
no,
part of it.
no. But the way the Quran
السلام عليكم يا
defines the
اخوان.
gospel
السلام عليكم.
excludes. Salam alaikum, Leafy.
Yeah,
The
how are you, أخي?
Quran. I'm good. How are you?
I just want to make a point, أخي. I've just been
Leafy,
Good.
listening
please,
to the
no,
Go ahead.
conversation for a
Leafy,
while.
don't come into the
I'm not trying
conversation.
to butt in.
No, no, no,
No,
Leafy,
I'm
don't
not.
come into the
أخي, just give me a
I
wisdom.
chance.
simply
I'm
want
going
to
to
say
ask the
this:
host to drop you, okay, Leafy? Khalil and
the
I can have
Quranic
a
term
conversation.
Okay.
Injil is not coextensive with the New Testament or the fourfold gospel, and the simple reason is in the Quran,
Where is,
Jesus
show me in
doesn't
the
preach.
Quran that.
Jesus,
Show me in the
okay,
Quran where it says that is nothing to do with the Gospels, only particular thing. This only sayings of it. Why is he
yeah.
using
So
biographical
every time.
material, both from the Torah and the
Okay,
Gospels?
did Jesus according to the Gospels preach Mark?
It doesn't matter if he preached Mark or
It
not. What
does
makes you think
matter. It does, but
okay,
that's what you're saying. You want me to believe that the Quran says the gospel was given to Jesus and
yeah,
Jesus
why
preached the
not?
gospel.
Why not?
And
Because
you so did okay,
but
so did Jesus preach Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? Obviously he didn't.
absolutely did, because according to your Quran he did.
Really?
It's quoting from those
So
Gospels.
Mark,
It's
where?
quoting
No,
from those Gospels.
no, but where does it say? Where does the Quran say that Jesus preached the gospel of John?
Great. Where does the Quran sit down and say that this Injil is only his verbatim words, his red
Yeah,
letters? And then on top of that, will you accept
355.
all his red
Yeah.
letters?
There's like two or three verses where the
Yeah.
Quran defines the gospel as that which was given to Jesus by God and that which Jesus taught or preached. That the
Okay.
Quran
Great.
explicitly says that. It
All
never
right.
says
Wait,
Jesus
So,
went
but
around
where does
talking
it say
about his
that it
virgin
doesn't
birth
include
or any
Matthew,
of that.
Mark, Luke, and John? Where does it say it doesn't include
It,
Matthew,
wait,
Mark,
is
Luke, and
that
John?
because the positive definition of what the gospel is
Jay?
makes it
Jay, hold on.
impossible
Brother,
for
the
it to
very fact
include
that it's
Matthew, Mark.
quoting Matthew,
Wait, wait,
Mark,
wait,
and
wait,
Luke,
wait,
and
wait,
John
wait,
is
wait,
not a
Jay,
big
Jay, Jay,
sign.
you guys, I'm
But
so
it
sorry. I
never.
have to mute you
Go
guys.
ahead.
Hold on, you guys. I have a question. So, Dr. Khalil, is the verbatim words of Jesus, my only question, is that the Injil? So then, if I were to show you
Yes.
all through Jesus's words, would then that be accepted as the true word of God?
So the words of Jesus that have been authentically preserved in your Bible,
So whatever
those would
agrees with
be
the
part
Quran
of
is
the
good. What
real
doesn't agree with the
Injil.
Quran is not good. That's what he just said. He won't
Okay.
even take the
Brother,
So,
can
full
I just
okay.
speak,
words of
or
Jesus.
am I not
Okay,
allowed to
no,
speak?
Leafy,
Yeah,
you're not
no,
going to speak. We're going to
you
I,
finish
guys
up
I,
with
can.
Khalil
Jay, go
first.
ahead.
Leafy, go
Yeah,
ahead. I've been talking a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah, no
So,
worries.
so you're
I've
done.
just been listening
Hold on,
to you and Jay
hold
go
on.
back and forth. So I just like to give some
So, Dr.
practical
Adnani,
examples.
are you
So
finished?
Jay,
Are you
brother,
finished,
you come
Adnani?
here and you say that,
Doc,
oh, well, how do
Dr.
you
Wait,
know
Adnani,
wait,
that
are
the
you
wait,
Quran
Leafy,
finished?
says
Dr.
before
different
you
things?
do,
Adnani,
because hold
before
Okay,
on,
you do.
Jay,
just finish.
Yeah,
hold on one second. Before
yeah.
you do,
I'm
because
not
y'all are
trying to
gonna
attack
talk and
anyone.
talk and talk and
Yeah,
talk and
yeah,
talk.
yeah, yeah. Go
Hey,
figure out
Dr.
if Justin
Khalil,
Martyr is a
I
church.
just
Doesn't
No,
matter.
no,
wanted
no,
to tell,
no. It's
wait,
literally one point.
hey,
It's
excuse
just
me,
Yeah.
one point.
excuse me. Dr. Khalil, I just wanted to tell you thank you for coming up. I appreciate all of your words, and I will message you about other things. Okay?
No, you're welcome. And Jay, before I mean, I'll still listen, but I don't mind the arguing with Jay. I don't
No,
take it personally.
I appreciate you going back and forth with me. We get a little passionate on this stuff, but it's not personal.
Yeah, very good. God bless you. I just wanted
Yeah.
to say that. So, and don't moral get you are weird, bro. Like you're a very weird person. Yeah, not holy glaze, but he was actually very respectful, and I do appreciate that.
He's
So,
always respectful. I mean, Adnani, I mean, we don't agree, but he's always been very respectful. Well, he's not a Sunni. That already should give you an idea. So Shias are very respectful on this app. All
Yeah,
Can I
right,
make
so
a point
now,
now, or?
let Leafy. You want to say something? Let's let him say something.
Yeah. Okay. So it's more than that. It's not just that the Quran quotes biographical material. It's that it consciously edits material found in the biblical corpus. So Khalid's point is valid that there are sayings attributed to Jesus
what
that he just historically
consciously
didn't
edits?
say. Brother, I'm not. Look, just wait 1 second. Let me finish my point. You can respond. I have no problem like letting you speak. I just want to make like 2 points, and that's it.
Go ahead.
Brother Khalil's point is valid that the biblical corpus contains forgeries in the name of Jesus. Like, for example, the Passion predictions, he says that I will be dead and raised, and the Son of Man came not to serve, but to be served, and that he's going to rise after 3 days. No historian believes that Jesus actually said that. All the scholars say it's a fabrication, because then how do you reconcile it with the fact that the disciples are actually shocked at the fact that he's raised again? If he was telling them constantly, as he does in Mark and in the parallel sayings in Matthew and Luke, that look, I'm going to die after 3 days, I'm going to be resurrected, then we expect that when he actually does do that, the disciples are not going to be shocked and embarrassed and confused. They're going to know what's going on because Jesus has been preparing them with that, essentially. That's just one example of a forgery that the historical Jesus didn't do,
Yeah, not,
but is
we
still
don't agree
recorded in
with
the
that.
Gospels. Just wait,
Okay,
brother.
all right.
I'm not. I know you don't
You're
agree
gonna
with that. Okay? I
shotgun.
know you
You're
don't
gonna
agree with that.
shotgun all these verses
I'm not
now.
shotgunning, brother. Brother, please. I just listened to you guys speak. I have some thoughts on what I want to say. So just please let me finish. You can respond for as long as you want. No worries. Right. So that's the first point. Even if you don't agree with me, no problem. James Tabor agrees with me. Ermin agrees with me. Metzger agrees with me. I don't care.
Very nice.
So that is not what the Quran is confirming, and in fact, it disconfirms that because it explicitly denies the fact that Jesus is God. It says, "لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله هو المسيح ابن مريم." They have certainly disbelieved those who say that Jesus Christ is God. The Quran makes a conscious edit of that. So whenever there is something, and this is what Sidney Griffith said to Khalid's credit, he
Brother,
said that,
this
look,
is what you
the
do
Quran
constantly,
changes.
man. You've turned it
Can
into a
I, bro?
dissertation
I didn't.
of
Wallah, I
scholars.
didn't interrupt
Okay,
you. Wahyat
you made
al-Quran, I
your
didn't interrupt you,
point.
bro.
You
I didn't
because
make
you
my
go into
point, bro.
15
I did
scholars
not make
now.
my
We
point.
get it. We
It's
grant you
not
your
15
scholars.
scholars.
We grant you your
It's not
scholars.
15
We grant you your
brother,
scholars.
please,
Now, can we get
can
to
I
the
please not be
argument?
interrupted?
Bro,
Can I
Okay,
stop
please?
this
I won't
dissertation
interrupt
thing.
you while you're
here. I
speaking.
got this.
It's
Hold
not.
on.
It's not a dissertation, bro.
We're gonna
Yeah,
do
it is
like
a
a
Just give me
dissertation.
1 minute. That's all I'm
Yeah,
asking
that's
for.
okay.
Give me
We're
No,
1
gonna
minute
do
to
like
speak
this is like,
uninterrupted.
guys, this is what he does. He'll come in
I
and he'll start
know, I know,
shotgunning
I
all
know,
these
I know,
scholars
but
out there, and we
I'm not
grant you the
shotgunning.
scholars you have on your
It's not
paper,
shotgunning,
okay?
bro.
go
So
ahead.
now let's get to the real heart, the
Thank you,
meat and
sister.
potato of
So
it.
yeah, so like I
Let's get
said,
into
there's
the meat and
already
potatoes of
forgeries
it.
that are internal contradictions that we know the historical Jesus didn't say. So the Quran is obviously not confirming that. That's the first point. The second point is the Quran makes conscious edits of biblical material. For example, Solomon disbelieves in the Bible. The Quranic author, his understanding is that prophets do not commit major sins. That's why he consciously edits it to وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانَ, that Solomon did not disbelieve. Same thing with the Exodus. He edits the Exodus narrative. Same thing with the dream of Joseph. He edits the story about the dream of Joseph. There are tens of these conscious edits, which shows that the Quranic author is familiar with what's called the biblical corpus and is in fact editing it to be in line with his own prophetology. That's what Sidney Griffith said in his book that Khalil Adnani is quoting to you in the Quran and the Bible. So you need to, once you accept the fact that the Quranic author is consciously editing the biblical material, the
Okay,
Islamic dilemma falls
enough,
away. Because for the Islamic
enough,
dilemma to be
enough of
true, the
gibberish out
Quranic
there.
author must be
Enough. Okay,
unconsciously
now
using
guys,
material.
here's what it is. Okay, here's how it works. Okay, the word nowhere in the Quran does his Allah says that I'm going to come into conscious edits. He's going to say he's not a verbatim fallacy. Nowhere does he say general confirmation. That's a verbatim fallacy. Okay. What we're saying is these are all contradictions because his Allah has no problem when he wants to make a point about the previous scriptures, 123 verses where he talks about it like he's having a love affair with the previous scriptures. In 19 verses, 18 times it says it's confirming the previous scriptures. Somehow Leafy wants to sit down and these guys who've come up with this 2025 idea of general confirmation, they use the verb as general. It doesn't even mean that it's only a portion of it. Okay. And they've come up with these conscious edits. What conscious edits is basically, ladies and gentlemen, they're saying whatever agrees with the Quran is good. Whatever disagrees with it is bad. We go ahead and edit it, and then we look at those same verses and say, look, it's pointing to Islam. It's a big circular jerk off. That's what it is. Okay, it's a big circular
Yeah, so sister, I don't
reasoning
want it
out
to
there.
be a
Okay,
one-on-one with me and
all right,
JC. I want
all right.
Khalil to also give his
So,
thoughts because I
hold
actually
on.
respect Khalil and he on this issue I actually
Hey,
agree with him.
listen, no.
Even if we have
Hey,
you know,
why was
differences
I?
of opinion on matters of aqidah. The scholarship is very clear that the author of the Quran is aware of, for example, Dai wrote a paper talking about the intertextuality of the Quran. Dai's a revisionist scholar, and he went through the first 63 verses of Surah Maryam, and he shows how the Quranic author is aware of the Greek, the
Start.
Hebrew, the liturgical tradition. He's aware of the traditions of the people around him, these random obscure references. I can get you the quote, akhi. And he shows that that means that the Quranic author is aware. He postulates that the Quranic author must be either, or Muhammad is someone either with great like religious knowledge, like he comes from the background of being a trained monk, or someone very aware of liturgical practices, or he has a group of people around him who are giving him this information, because it's impossible that he's this aware of the Quranic or biblical subcorpora, because you need to have extensive knowledge in this. Now, for you to say, oh, the Quranic author is just contradicting himself, that's just being uncharitable, because the Quranic author is telling you that there are parts of the biblical narrative he doesn't agree with, like Jesus' crucifixion, the fact that he's God, the fact that prophets commit major sins, etc. And this is a common theme. So whenever there's any story where the Bible attributes these kinds of things to any figures, that Uzair is the son of God, that Jesus is the son of God, like the exaltation of these venerated figures, it refutes that. Whenever there's any idea of polytheism, it refutes that. Whenever there's any idea of prophets committing major sins, it refutes that. And that's what Sidney Griffith shows, and other scholars, not just him, Nicholas Sinai, whoever you
Listen,
want, really, any like serious
everybody, you
scholar.
watched him run away from the conscious edits. You saw what I
Brother,
asked
just
him a simple question. I asked him a simple
just
question. This is all he does. That's all you hear from him.
bro, are you
Okay?
okay?
Now the
Are you
reason
okay?
is
Why do you
this.
need to
The
cut this?
reason is
Can't we speak
he
normally?
runs
Can't we
away
speak
from the
normally?
conscious edits. Okay? He ran away from the
I won't
conscious
run away.
edits. For the reason. Okay? Be
Brother, ask me
quiet.
a
Be
question, I'll answer it
quiet. Be
directly.
quiet. It's my turn. Now listen. This is what we're saying. I challenged him. I said, show me where your Allah, who has no problem in 114 chapters, 6,200 verses, never says anything about the previous scriptures being corrupted. In fact, he goes the opposite. 123 verses, I can name you all of them if you like, that he sits down and has a love affair, talks about the previous scriptures in highly respectful form, never says, he's never has a problem in saying it's perfect, it's beautiful, it's great, it's brilliant. He doesn't have any of those problems out there. 19 times in 18 verses, as I said, he has no problem in saying he's confirming it. That means he's attesting to the truthfulness or correctness of it. But somehow, when it comes to corruption, he mums the word. Doesn't say a word in there. Conscious, as I told him, his conscious edits are this. Anything that agrees with the Quran is good. Anything that doesn't agree with the Quran, we go ahead and edit those things. And then we look at those things and tell them, hey, those things are pointing to our Quran and Islam, so Islam must be true. This is a circular argument, folks. That's all they're trying to do out there. They've come up with this whole thing called conscious edits and general confirmation in 2025. The word general, by the way, everybody, go look up the definition of the word general. That is attesting to all or major themes, most all or major themes of whatever you're discussing. So if you're going to attest to the all or major or most of what we're of the gospel, that's going to be incarnation. That's going to be Jesus God. That's going to be a triune God. That's going to be resurrection and crucifixion.
Okay.
Don't use the word general and then sit down and say, oh, this one time in Bandcamp, we redefine the definition out there. So now answer this question. Is the word, does your Allah ever say, does your Allah, no, I'm not done. You went on for 5 minutes. I got barely 30 seconds last time and now I'm talking. Now answer my question. Does your Allah, who has no problem going the opposite way and talking about how great the previous scriptures are, does he ever say that the previous scriptures are corrupted in your Quran? And does he ever say anything close to general confirmation? Does he say it? That
Yeah.
I am going to
So can I
remove
respond, brother,
90%
please?
of your
We
theology.
can talk normally.
I'm going to
Jay,
strip
Jay,
down 90.
Jay,
Hush.
we can just
I'm
talk
going to
normally.
I'm going to
We can just talk normally. You don't need to be like this. We can speak normally.
I'm going to land on. Hold on. And does he ever
Okay,
say that
go
I am
ahead.
going to strip away 90% of your theology and I'm not going to say a word to you? That is ridiculous to expect somebody to do that
Can I speak now?
when he's done the
Can I
opposite
speak now,
earlier.
please? Can
Show
I
me in the
speak now?
Quran where he says the previous scriptures are corrupted. Go.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. So I can answer that very easily, but please don't interrupt me while I finish
Don't
responding to
go
what
on
you
for
just said. Is that okay?
5 minutes. Don't go on for 5 minutes.
But I need to respond to what
Hey,
you said.
time
So
it.
please,
Actually,
let's
you know what, wisdom?
no,
Give him 3 minutes, and you'll give me 3 minutes.
Jay, can we
Hold on.
can we speak like normally to each
Because
other? We don't need to do this. Like
Leafy,
you just spoke to Khalil. Habib, you just spoke to Khalil nicely. Why can't you
because
speak to me
Khalil
the
is a
same
nice
way?
man. Khalil, I can have a conversation with.
I'm the same. I'm the same
you
as
and
him,
me
bro.
don't. You and me, because you will sit down and start doing this rubbish for 5 minutes.
Respond, though.
3 minutes. 3
Okay,
minutes.
bro.
Time it, wisdom. Yeah, or 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Whatever. Just give us it. Otherwise, he'll
Okay.
go on for 5 minutes. I'm telling you, time
Yeah,
it,
no worries.
wisdom. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. No worries. You can put me on for
Y'all,
2 minutes. I
need to
Now,
appreciate
stick
you.
to
now,
1 minute.
yeah. Okay, great. Now
I
answer
appreciate
my
you.
questions and
Thank
don't
you.
run from it.
Okay, thank you. I understood your questions, bro. His first question was general confirmation. Again, it doesn't have to say it specifically that, oh, I'm doing a general confirmation. You can just look at what the author does. 2 minutes, he said, by the way, not 1 minute. He doesn't need to say, oh, I'm doing a general confirmation. You just look at what the author's doing, and it's evident by the fact that he omits certain details in line with his theology and prophetology that he's doing a general confirmation. He's not confirming everything. His second question was about, oh, can you show me where the Quran talks about corruption? And there's many verses like 513, 279, and the opinion of the majority of Western scholars, including Khalil Adnani, he himself is right here, he'll tell you, is that most scholars say that these verses do imply a textual corruption all on top of a corruption in terms of the meaning. So that's the answer to your question. Then you also said that, oh, the general themes, the major themes of the Bible is Trinitarianism, resurrection. I disagree. That's not actually the main themes of the synoptics. That's not true. Jesus Christ, while he was on earth, he did not preach his resurrection, his incarnation, the Trinity. Those are not attributed to the historical Jesus. The Quran is in line with the historical Jesus. According to the scholars of Jeffrey Boots, James D. Tabor, the Quranic picture of Jesus is more in line with him. So again, that's wrong as well.
After this round, I'll do 2 minutes after that. Sorry, guys. Whew.
All right, folks. What did I tell you that he was going to run from it? Right. I asked him quite simply, what is the definite? Yeah. After this. Okay. Sorry. If you can restart it, please. So what did I say? He's going to run from it, right? With his tail between his legs, he's going to run from my question. The word general, ladies and gentlemen, which these guys, and I never said give me a verbatim thing. See, he ran to the verbatim thing. I said give me in any form, okay? General means affecting or concerning all or most of people or things, and including the main features. Okay, that means including the main features of things. So when he's using general confirmation, then the word general would mean that you're going to take most of all of our gospel, including the main themes. So our main themes are the ones which I listed. But they say, no, 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 no. We call it general, but it's really specific. They just named it general, but it's a very specific confirmation they're giving. They're only confirming those things that are going to include with them. Did my 1 minute get up already? I don't think I had a whole minute. Did I use all of my minute, or I didn't think I even had a whole minute?
You did, yeah. You used your whole minute.
Yeah, but look, Jay, I'm happy
Okay.
to let you speak, bro. I just want also Khalil to speak because I'd like this to be like a
No.
nice discussion. I don't want it to be like
He's already given it to you. He's already given it to you. So now you and me, let's go.
yeah, but
So Jay, you asked, you said, look, where does the Quran come out and say this is only a general confirmation? You also asked, where does the Quran come out and say the scriptures are corrupted? So in general, you know the difference between show and tell?
Yeah,
You
I
guys
do know
what
the
difference
difference.
between show
Sure.
and tell?
Yeah, just bring me the verse.
Yes, so no, but this is relevant. So the biggest advice you'll get today about being a persuasive speaker is people will say, show, don't tell. So
Oh,
when you
yes,
show
I agree with that.
something,
I agree.
so when you show something, right, like you actually do the thing that you want people to know about you. You actually perform it. Whereas when you tell, you just narrate yourself doing something without actually doing it. Okay? So the
Oh, there'll be a
Quranic
lot of show and tell.
strategy, yeah, no, but the Quranic rhetorical strategy, which is, all good speakers today still do this. The Quran doesn't simply say, I am now going to confirm generally, but this. No, the Quran actually does it. It shows it, right? Surely the Quran denies that Jesus ever said he's God.
Wait,
The Quran
Khalil,
denies.
does the Quran have any problem in showing and telling that it loves the previous scriptures, that it confirms
Well,
it?
to be
How
fair,
is the
it
Quran?
neither shows
No, no,
nor
no.
tells.
Okay,
Quote, it
in
loves the
19
previous
verses, it
scriptures.
says
That's
it's
just not
confirming the
there.
previous scriptures. Okay,
No, it doesn't.
it's in
No, it does
123
not.
verses. Yes, it does. You
No,
may
I
sit
don't
down and
grant that.
okay, if you don't
I
want to
don't
grant it,
grant
there's no
that.
problem.
It doesn't say. It does
Brother,
not say that.
the word musakadin or musading, whatever it is, however it's pronounced.
Musaddiqun.
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah,
mean that we
what,
love the
Musaddika,
general
whatever
scripture.
it
musaddiq.
Okay.
means, confirm. It means confirm.
I
It is
agree, but does it
absolutely
say
mean confirm.
previous? No, does it say previous scriptures? What is it
I'm
confirming?
yeah. What do you mean? Does it mean previous? That which came
Show
before
me the
you.
words. Yeah,
That which came
but
before you?
scriptures. Yeah, where's the word for scriptures? I.e., where does it say the
So
Quran is
what is it confirming
confirming
before
the
it?
Christian canon?
What is it
It's
saying before it came?
confirming. It's confirming revelatory knowledge that
Really?
was
Then
revealed
then in
before it.
7157 says the same revelatory knowledge is written. And
Actually,
you want to
it's only talking about one
you
item.
want to sit down
One
and debate me
item.
over Bena Yadehi. What, I don't care if it's one or it's half, it's 10,
No, I
but
don't
you
want
want
to
to decide.
debate you on
Okay.
Bena Yadehi because I've
Okay,
already shut the
1094
door on
says,
Bena Yadehi.
1094 says, then go to the people who have been reading the scriptures before you.
No, it says go to the people who've been reading the kitab singular before
Right,
you. Now,
yes,
what is the
kitab,
yeah?
yes.
The Bible is not a kitab. The Bible
Well,
literally
who
means
said,
plural
who,
of books. So,
oh,
what
oh,
is your
really?
kitab?
Oh, okay, so
Yes.
that
Yeah.
means when, okay, does it refer to the Torah as a kitab?
Yeah, the Torah, sure,
How many
as
books
al
are in the
kitab.
Torah? How many books are in the
In
Torah?
the Quran doesn't recognize a
Excuse
5 book
me.
Torah. For the
Oh, okay.
yeah, it
Now
does
it doesn't
not.
recognize it. So
It
now
does
you have a
not.
special
Where's
Torah.
the 5
Okay. So
books?
okay. All right. So then
No,
what is the
Torah
Torah?
means the
Okay,
law.
great. So what is the
Jay,
Torah?
go read.
What is the
Jay, go
Torah?
Jay, do you
read.
know that?
What is the
Wait,
Jay,
can I
go
Torah?
just speak
read
for
What
a
is
the.
the
moment?
Wait,
Torah?
Go
the
read.
Hold on. I
It's
don't
Gospels,
the
need two people
law.
talking
even the
over me. I don't need
Gospels
two people.
refer to the
Yeah.
grace
The
that Jewish
law.
scriptures.
It's
Okay.
the
Okay.
law
Okay.
brought
Okay.
by
Whoa, 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 whoa. I
Moses.
don't need
That's the Torah.
three little guys coming out at me. Okay. I'm going Khalil and me one on one now. You gave up your position,
Okay.
Leafy. So sit down aside. Okay. Now,
All
when
I
it, so
want to
wanted
you're
to
do is
saying,
actually.
you're
ask
I just
saying,
something.
wanted a
I don't
discussion,
care
bro.
if
you're
Leafy wants
saying,
to talk.
Khalil, wait, Khalil. You're sitting down and saying that does it refer when it says the book, the people of the book? Who are these people of the books?
It's people of the kitab, singular, not
Yes, who
people
are
of the
they? Who are they?
scriptures.
Who are they?
They're any people who've received a revelation
Look.
from the kitab,
So wait, is it the Jews
singular.
and Christians? Does it include the Jews and Christians?
Yeah, that includes.
Sure,
Yes,
of
it
course it
does.
Okay,
does.
Yeah.
Leafy, please be quiet. Okay, Khalil, does it include
Because
the Jews?
within
Great. Did the
yeah,
Jews and
because Jews
Christians?
and Christians still possess
Right.
something that's
Did they have
extant of the
separate books?
kitab.
Did they have separate books?
Well, they had many books, so
Great. So
kitab
why is it
doesn't just
referring to
refer to their
kitab as
book.
singular? Hold on, you said it's singular, right? So now it's
Yes,
describing
kitab is
many books
always
as singular.
singular.
Right. So
No,
then
that's
does it refer
wrong.
to
That's
many
your
books?
assumption.
Okay,
No, kitab
hold on.
does not refer to
Kilal,
many books.
Khalil, listen to me, okay?
Yeah,
Listen to what I'm asking
kitab
you,
does
okay?
not. But you did, and I
Khalil,
answered you.
listen to me what I'm asking you, okay? Hear me out first. You said that it is just one singular book. The gospel is not multiple gospels, it's just one book. And there I said, okay, in that case, you guys in your book, your Allah refers to multiple books in a singular as kitab and not kutub. So when he's talking about the people of the book, they
I
have a
didn't say
Torah, they
that.
have an Injil, they have a Psalms.
But
So
I
can
but
a
I didn't
singular
say
book,
that.
so can an Injil, the Injil, Al Injil, when it talks about, can refer to multiple books?
No,
What? But when it says kitab, it can
no.
refer to multiple
But this
books.
is what but I never said that. That you just made that up and attributed it to me. Sort of what the
Yeah,
Gospels do to
Jay, you're not
Jesus.
tracking what he's saying. With all due
You
respect to you, like I'm not
literally
even trying to be
said that
rude or
kitab, you
argumentative.
literally said the kitab is
Um,
singular, not plural.
the
Dude,
word
why do
kitab
you
The
is
not
word
start
is
by
singular,
the
asking
word is
what
and
does
singular.
Injil mean first?
therefore, I said that the Quran nowhere validates the Pentateuch, the 5 books of Moses, and nowhere does it validate the 27 books of the New Testament.
Okay,
Yeah,
That's
so
what I'm
yeah.
on the
saying,
That's the point
and
that I
you
was
don't
on
getting
have
the
at.
evidence
Torah,
for
no.
that.
So what? Okay, all right. Okay, so what was your purpose in saying kitab singular?
That
The
that
word means singular. The word is
No,
in a singular
the
form, but it
word
refers to the
Leafy, please
revelation
be
that
quiet.
came.
Leafy, please
Just
be
wait.
quiet.
It's the
No,
same. Jay,
hey,
we can
listen, Khalil, do
speak,
you need
bro.
this guy
Why are
to
you
jump
not
in
letting
and
me
all
speak
speak?
right,
for
all
you?
right, Jay.
Okay.
Sorry, I came here
I'm
for a
fine with
discussion, bro.
Leafy speaking. I'm
So
fine with it. Jay, you
Thank
get to
you.
debate 2-on-1. I mean, you like that's a big thing
No,
for
no,
you.
but
Jay,
let's
you
I'm
should
not
be
asking
okay
you.
let's
with
not
it.
debate.
Jay,
Let's just have a
it's not a
conversation. You know what
debate.
I
It's
mean?
just a
Right,
Yeah.
discussion, bro. Like I
right.
just want to
So
discuss.
the
It's okay.
purpose of sitting down and saying the
I'm
word
just
kitab is singular
taking
means
tea
it's
right now. I'm
referring
not taking
to
it very seriously.
the whole purpose, Khalil, for you to sit down and say that it doesn't refer to 5 books, but only kitab singular, was trying to tell me that the word is singular, it cannot be a multitude of books. It cannot be a
No,
multitude of
okay,
books. Yes or
okay.
no,
Yeah, yeah,
Khalil?
yeah. It
Khalil,
does not
is that
refer
true
to
or
a
not?
canon of. Yeah, the word kitab, because
Yes,
it's singular, does not refer to a canon of multiple books.
multiple books, right? And I said, wait a minute, when it calls the people the people of the book singular kitab, does it refer to Jews and Christians and they have multiple books? So
Refer
when
to
it is
Jews and Christians, but not because they have multiple books.
so do the Jews have their own book?
It refers to Jews and Christians because Jews and Christians descend, they are the
Khalil,
remnants
do the
of
Jews have their
Abraham
own
and
book?
Isaac. Again, irrelevant. Actually,
What
they have
the?
many
What are
books.
you
They don't
doing?
have a
What are we
book then.
doing here,
Bro,
man? You
No,
sit
it's
down and use the
irrelevant.
word
Jews are
kitab back
Jews.
at me, and you said, "Oh, it's singular. It cannot be multiple books." And then
Yeah,
I
it
say,
says
"Wait a minute.
kitab.
When it says people of
Kitab
the book, it
refers
means
to
multiple books."
that's, but I'm not saying that. That's you saying that, Jay.
Okay, can I speak for a minute? I've just been
Okay,
listening to you
Khalil.
guys.
Again, for the
Can I
last and final time, I will ask you: when you said the word kitab, and you said it does not mean the five books, and I asked you because you said kitab means only singular, cannot be multiple books. And you said yes, that's what you were saying. So you said
I
kitab
said
can be
kitab does
singular,
not
cannot be
mean.
multiple books.
That's
Correct?
right.
Okay, now
Yeah,
everybody
but I'm
stop.
saying,
Freeze.
yeah,
He just said for the fourth time, kitab cannot mean multiple books. And I said,
correct.
wait a minute, when they describe the people of the book, they say the word kitab, it means multiple books because the Jews had their own books,
No,
the Christians had
wrong.
their own books.
But that's
No,
wrong. But that's
Khalil,
your
that doesn't follow.
assumption.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
of course
follow.
it doesn't
That
follow.
doesn't
Yeah,
follow.
go ahead.
Right. So when you use
So can I
kitab with
speak
the people
now?
of the book, it doesn't follow as multiple books. Great.
Jay,
Got it.
Jay, I'd like
It
to
does
clear up
not
your confusion,
follow.
brother. Jay, I'd like to clear up your confusion. Is that okay? This is the book that the brother was quoting, Sidney Griffith, the Bible in Arabic, right?
Hey, I don't
Now,
care
the
about that, dude.
Quran.
I
I
don't
know
care
you
about
don't care about
syndicate.
scholarship,
No.
Jay.
I'll tell you what.
I know you
I'll
don't
care
care
about
about
your
scholarship.
scholarship.
Can I please
Okay,
make my
your
point?
scholarship
Can I
sits down
make
and
a
says,
point?
okay,
I'd like to
don't
make a
bring
let
me
him
point.
some
finish
All right,
his
all
one-off
right, all
point,
right,
scholar.
all
Listen to
bro.
right.
you.
Jay,
Can you
Jay,
listen to
Jay,
me,
One
Jay.
at a
please?
time, bro.
Just so
Can you
that,
control yourself, bro?
hold on,
Yeah,
hold on.
just chill,
So
bro. I
just
don't know
so
why
that
you're so
there's,
aggressive, bro. You can
just
just
so that there's
relax.
some
Because you
clarity.
bring me
Yeah,
Sidney
just so,
Griffith, and I already told you I don't care about those. I'm
Jay.
looking at your early scholars. Your early scholars on
Okay.
513 sat down and said,
Yes,
your early
Imam
scholars,
al-Tufi, brother.
your Tabri said on
Astaghfirullah.
513
Brother,
that
you're
it's just an
interrupting me.
interpretation.
You're not letting me speak. Jay, listen to me. I'm not trying to yell at you. I'm not trying to attack you. I just want to speak without being interrupted. Is that okay? Yeah, I know you care about my early scholars. My
I
early scholars
grant
agree
you
with me, not
your
you.
I
Imam
grant you
al-Tufi
your
holds the
modern
same position that I
scholars, the
hold
ones
to.
that you
Our
have.
classical scholars hold to the same position that I hold to. And
Really?
even
All right.
Western academics hold to the
513?
same position that we're holding to. We're
513?
trying to explain that to you, but you keep interrupting us. So please, can I make my point without interruption?
Okay, so on
Thank you.
513 it
Okay,
does?
so this is the book the brother was quoting, Khalil Adnani, and he says here, the Quran is very conscious of the Bible and sometimes presents itself as offering once again revelation previously sent down in the Torah and the Gospel. One verse even seems to put the Quran on par with these earlier scriptures when it speaks of the promise of paradise for those who fight in the way of God, already truthfully recorded in the Torah, the Gospel, and the Quran. On one hand, the Quran's text insistently recalls earlier biblical stories of the patriarchs and the prophets, and even appeals to the books of the Torah, the prophets, the Psalms, and the Gospels by name, right? At the same time, he goes on to say, like, it omits
Okay,
other
watch
things,
this,
like about the
guys.
Pauline letters. So the Quranic
Watch
author
this,
is
guys.
selectively choosing what he quotes.
Okay, watch this, guys. Watch this, okay? Watch this. Watch this, guys, okay? He loves to come up with one of them. Ibn Kathir, 513, he said, oh, the scholars, he'll only choose his modern day scholars, one or two out there. Ibn Kathir says they distort the words from the proper uses, meaning their understanding became corrupted. They interpreted his book contrary to what it was revealed. That means the interpretation. If I have one book, you read the same book, I read the same book, our interpretations are different. Doesn't mean the book got corrupted. Remember, you said 530. Hey, major scholars always sit down and say. Tabari says the same thing. Distort the words from their places doesn't mean the places were. Doesn't it already mean the places were already known out there? Okay, so you've got over and over again. I've got some other scholars in here, but we'll just stick to this one here. 513. Ibn Kathir sits down and says that it is an understanding and interpretation. You're saying that it is actual textual corruption. You're saying it's actual textual corruption. You're bringing me some dude, and you know something Nicholas Sinai said, which if I go and pull it and I see it, we've caught you lying a lot of times. We've caught you lying on your
Yeah,
books a lot of times. You don't even know if Justin
if
Martyr
I
was a
could
church
finish,
father or not.
please. If I could finish, please. Thank you very much. So like I was saying, he says, this is Sidney Griffith saying that the Quran is recalling the stories of biblical patriarchs, and then he says that nevertheless it makes three things very clear. Biblical personalities and their stories are recalled according to the paradigm of Quranic prophetology, not according to Jewish or Christian narrative patterns, meaning that the Quran is recounting these stories and making it, consciously editing it to be in line with its own understanding of what a prophet should be. So that means that the Quran is aware of the biblical narrative and consciously editing it. So the Islamic dilemma fails, because the Islamic dilemma, for it to be successful, the Quranic author needs to be unaware of the biblical narratives, and he's just picking and choosing and like haphazardly mixing things together, which is not true, right? That's why he says the Quran is correcting the previous scriptures. It sees itself as correcting the previous scriptures according to its own prophetology. Listen to what he says. The Quranic recollections of biblical patriarchs and prophets, according to the paradigm of its own prophetology, bespeaks the Arabic scriptures corrective, even polemical stance towards Jewish and Christian scriptures. So the Quran is corrective towards the Jewish and Christian scriptures. So it's aware of them and it's consciously correcting them, akhi. Now you spoke about Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir says that we do a general confirmation, tasdiq mujmalan, he says in his tafsir of 279 and 513. And he believes in textual corruption. So you're misquoting Ibn Kathir as well, akhi.
He's lying.
So please, be honest with
All right,
the sources that you're quoting.
guys.
Ibn Kathir, just wait,
okay.
please.
513 and 279,
right? Can you not interrupt me?
Okay.
I did not interrupt
Finish
you, Jay.
up.
Wallah, I didn't interrupt you. Thank you. Thank you. Ibn Kathir believes in textual corruption. That's very clear from his tafsir. Quoting one part where he says there is also distortion in terms of meaning does not negate that he believes in textual corruption as well. So please be very, very watch with what you're quoting.
Okay.
And I
watch,
know.
Watch
I'm not done. Can I land the plane, please?
Bro,
Can I land? I'm literally about to finish and you're interrupting
30 seconds and you're on 3 minutes.
I will finish. I will finish, bro. I'll finish. So please be careful. Can I speak?
You're
can
done.
I speak?
You
I'm
got,
not sure.
you already said.
Can I finish?
You had a scholar,
bro,
you had
please.
513,
oh my God.
279.
I made 2 points.
You said Ibn Kathir.
I made 2 points. I made 2 points, bro. Can you please be quiet? Thank you. Thank you. So the only 2 points that I made, again, is that Nicholas Sinai, Sidney Griffith, I just quoted Sidney Griffith, saying that the Quran is corrective, polemical towards the previous scriptures, which shows that it's conscious of them and is correcting it to be in line with its own prophetology. That refutes the Islamic dilemma, point number 1. Point number 2, you're misquoting Ibn Kathir, and him saying that there's textual corruption in terms of meaning, tahrif lafzi, does not negate that there was also corruption in terms of physical corruption. It doesn't negate that. So we believe in both. We believe there is both corruption in terms of the meaning and corruption in terms of textual corruption. And this is represented by Ibn Kathir and the earlier authorities before him, even Ibn Abbas. So please, akhi, be careful with what you quote. I don't need the rest of the time. He just needs to let me finish and not interrupt.
Hey, Wisdom, do you intend giving him 5 minutes and giving me 1 minute? And then having 3 of them sit down and talk with me? Is that what you intend? Because if you do, then you can have it.
Listen. I just started a showtime. You asked for 2 minutes, so I'm giving you guys both.
That is after you'd already gone on for 2 minutes.
Well, you can when I end the showtime, you can finish it. Okay. It was too much talking over each other. That's why I had to start.
That's because he goes on and on and on. Listen, guys, he just sat down and lied. Let me show you what he lied about. He said, Ibn Kathir says, Mujmalan, general belief in 513 and 279. He's a liar. It says it in 2946. And Mujmalan means something completely different. General belief is a doctrinal category. This boy thinks that he's walked into some normal Christian out there. Okay? Mujmalan, let me show you guys. Let me show you guys what he lied about. These guys are nothing but absolute liars. Hold on. Where is it? Ibn Kathir. There we go, baby. What did he say? Khalil said show and tell. Yeah, I'll show and tell. Okay? Here is what he's talking about. It's 2946. It doesn't say the general belief was in 513 or 279. He snuck that in. Bro, you're such a slimy guy, dude. That's why we don't like you on our side, okay? Now, it says here, and we say we have believed in that which have been revealed to us, and revealed to you means if they inform us of something that is truth or falsehood, we do not know and we do not hasten, yada, 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 and we believe in it with general belief. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a difference between the word general belief and the word general. In the English language, it means something completely different, okay? General belief is al-imam al-mujmal. Detailed belief, they have something called general and detailed belief. General belief is these are doctrinal categories. It doesn't mean how it means in the English language that, general being most of it. That's what he's lying to you. In their doctrinal category, general means they believe in all of it, but they don't know the details of it. So if a Muslim turns around and says that I believe, if the Muslim turns around, it's not my time. No, I'm not done. You spoke for 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I get my time.
You finished 2 minutes.
Hey, you got 5. Hey, Wisdom, can you ask this guy to be quiet, please? Okay. Now he's getting nervous after being caught lying. General means I believe in all of it, not in the detail of it. If a Muslim sits down and says that, you ask him, do you believe that Allah has 99 names? He says yes, but he doesn't know the detail of each name. So that's what it means in general belief in their doctrinal category. So here's what it goes in there, okay? When Ibn Kathir uses the word general belief, he's not saying general verification like your English language phrase. In Arabic, Iman Mujmalan literally means a general belief. It's not an open license to selectively affirm or deny parts of the previous scriptures. Okay, here you have it. The general belief in the Aqidah book by Khalid al-Mushlik, it says, a general belief, al-Imam al-Mujmal, is that a person affirms all that the messenger brought in a general manner. All, okay? As for a detail of tafsir, that is different. Okay, so now what I'm going to do out here is that this guy, Ibn Kathir, says the same thing. Sorry, Ibn Taymiyyah says the same thing. Okay, because my time is coming up under a minute, here in Majmul al-Fatah, he sits down and says the same thing out there. So I can show him all these things instead of reading it up here. I'll send it to you. Don't try and BS me that a general belief means actually just part of it. It doesn't. Even your teacher of Ibn Kathir says it. We're not required to know every detail, but we are commanded to believe in all of it generally. Okay, that's what it is. So even if a Muslim doesn't know every line of the book, his faith still covers all of them. It's not partial, it's comprehensive. Ibn Baz out here, I've got it also, says the same thing, okay, as opposed to general belief in this thing. So stop lying on me. Ibn Kathir never said that. He never said it in 513. He never said it in 279. He said the opposite in there. He said it completely opposite in there. In 513, they said it's just with verbally. In 279, they said you wrote a different book. So stop lying on me, bro. I'll own you on this. Go ahead. Let this boy not lie more about it. Brought the bloody wrong verse, said the lies on it. Try to push off a general belief on me.
Yeah, so I'll just respond to what he said and then I'll leave because he's, like, with all due respect to him, he's very low tier. He doesn't actually engage with the scholarship. He just has his little pre-recorded presentation. Like, I want you guys to notice, this is the difference between scholarship and apologetics. This is just apologetical material that he's bringing with his own translations that he's, like, gerrymandering. And we've caught these people, like, changing the narrations that they bring and giving incorrect translations multiple times. So I don't trust anything that he shows on the slideshow for anything. So let me just make that clear. But I mean, it's very clear. The Quranic author takes parts of the biblical narrative that are true and leaves parts that are false. That's what Sidney Griffith is saying. That's what Nicholas Sinai is saying. That's what Angelica Newworth thinks. This is what all top critical academic scholars of the Quran believe. And all of them accept that the Quranic author has a biblical subtext that he's aware of and engaging with. And if you want a good article on this, there's one by Nicholas Sinai on this. And there's also another one by Pregel as well. He has a good one talking about Jewish intertext in the Quran. All of this shows that the Quranic author takes parts that he believes are true and leaves parts that are false. And for Jay, this is something that's so blasphemous, so unacceptable. How is it the case the Quranic author is taking part of what's true and leaving part of what's false? Well, because he's doing the same thing that we believe, because he believes that the historical Jesus is not found in the Gospels. Parts of his sayings are true, parts of his sayings are preserved, parts of it are not preserved, parts of it are embellished. This is the same thing that critical scholars think. They think the Gospels have parts that are true and parts that are false. And as such, they sift through the parts that are false, like where he says that I and the Father are one, and before Abraham was I am, and all these I am sayings, and his passion predictions. These are all false attributions to him. As such, the Quranic author is getting rid of them. He's saying these are false attributions, and the historical Jesus never made these claims. That's it. It's very simple. So for whatever reason, these guys just want to keep forcing this dilemma that doesn't exist. We've explained it to them multiple times. It's not really worth engaging with. If anyone is sincere, they can read the book that I quoted by Sidney Griffith. With that, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Run. Hey, take SJ with you too. Okay, now listen. Guys, this is what I did. Remember he said that 513 and 279, Ibn Kathir says general belief. I proved number one, he's lying. It was in 2946. Then general belief doesn't sound and it means the exact thing that it means to us in the English language speaking world. I showed that it was a doctrinal term. Then I brought his own Ibn Taymiyyah. That's why he ran, guys. He ran because he said, oh shoot, this boy got me Ibn Taymiyyah. Here is one, it's in Arabic. What did he go to? Oh, I've got modern day scholars. Screw my Ibn Taymiyyah, screw Ibn Kathir, all of them. That's what he did. He showed them the proverbial middle finger out there. Here it is in Arabic. Here is the volume number. Majmu al-Fatah Ibn Taymiyyah. He says, oh, now he's appealing to, if I'm showing him things, oh, you're changing the translation. You saw how he started talking that way? This is how slow tier is. Low tier is higher than you, bro. You're slow tier. I'm bringing you the actual volume books and everything in here. And it says that Ibn Taymiyyah agrees with me that general belief means we believe in it all. We just don't know every detail of it. Look, it says, Okay, it is known that we do not encompass full knowledge, that means detail, of all things in detail, al tafsir, but we have only been commanded to believe, we have been commanded to believe in general, al jumiyah. Okay, so we do not know the exact number of prophets, nor many angels, nor do we grasp all their attributes, yet that does not diminish our faith in them. So when you say general, that means you're supposed to believe in it, you don't know the details in it. Okay, it continues out here again. So I say there is no doubt that one must believe in everything that the messenger is informed of and affirm whatever is reported, even if a person does not understand the Arabic he spoke or grasp any part of its meaning, let alone the Arab. So in general faith, i.e. general belief, Al-Imam Al-Mujmal, it is not a requirement to know the meaning of everything he has reported. There is no doubt about this. Okay, it'll continue on and on. I will give him a class on this. Look, I've got more from Majmu' al-Fatah. He's a Salafi. He's a Salafi, and he ran from his own Salafi boy. He ran from Ibn Baz and he ran
Okay.
from Ibn Taymiyyah.